Welcome back to DM-Nastics, the gym for dungeon masters to work out their minds. I'm one of your hosts, DM Neil, aka Jote Maniac.
And it's me, your other host, DM Celeste, aka Sea Witch.
Oh, curses.
Curses. Curse you. Cursed day.
So, surprise everyone, we're going to be talking about curses.
Curses, yay.
I feel like this is going to be interesting just because this is extremely difficult to do and to do well.
Yes.
Because I think it goes back to the thing that I bring up often where it's that your players don't always have to feel good. They only have to feel safe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because if it's all good all the time, like then what was the, what's the push and pull?
What was the drama?
Down?
Are we even in a fantasy story?
Correct.
Right?
So today we're going to be looking at an article from Matthew Cochran, who I think we've heard from before. And we're looking at The Gamer, 11 curses for DMs to use in D&D.
I'm actually really excited that you picked this article for this because curses, I feel like, have been such a bugaboo in 5e. They're sort of ill-defined and sort of around the periphery, and it's almost like they've always wanted to be a thing but never quite landed. So one of the things I really focused in on when designing Tales of the Valiant was a really robust and well-defined curse system. So now there's like standardization in the game for what is a curse. How is the trigger? What are the effects? How can it be cured? And we did that for like traps and hazards because I think curses need to shine. I think they're really cool. I know 2024 did some stuff trying to make curses more of a thing, but I know it's still a little nebulous. So I'm excited to like dive in and see what examples kind of exist now.
And plus side, if you do go to this article, it has specifically been updated to kind of incorporate some of the things that have been added in the 2024 rule set to try and make it feel a little better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Let's start out up front.
Yes.
How okay are you with doing this to your players?
Oh, cursing them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm super fine with it. But there are levels. There are levels to this because specifically... So when I talk about designing Tales of the Valiant or what I put in there, it's because most of that is my own direct opinion. So here we go. Here's the rule in TOV and the rule I use at my table. For cursed items in particular, I think there has to be player buy-in. When I design an item that is cursed, I have it be like, you have to accept the curse here. And then you get the benefits of the item by saying, yes, I'm okay with the cursed consequences.
Yeah.
But you always have, like, the curse is always a strong kind of thing. It's like imagine any kind of fairy style item, right? Like, you get all the attunement features, right? By choosing to attune to this cursed item. And those are really cool. But maybe, I don't know, an hour a week, you are a toad, and you have to be okay with that, and you have to say yes and consent to that curse on an item. Whereas, like, things like other curses that are treated more like traps or hazards, for instance, like they're tied to an environment or something, I always make sure that, players can detect them with traps. They can use, checks to solve the puzzle, right, of how to get out of this curse, and that feels fair. But cursed items, I think, specifically are their own little, cordon off section.
Yeah, one of the lowest hanging fruits, cursed-wise, item-wise, that I like doing is, because someone's gonna do it 10 out of 10 times at your table, is a reckless attack item.
Yeah.
So permanently, if you pick this up and you're good with it, you're gonna get advantage, and so is everyone else that wants to attack you.
Yeah.
And if you're okay with that, here's this fun little weapon for you.
And I think that's the key thing, like just making sure as a GM to be like, are you okay with that? And then getting a response, like that's when curses are really fun and actually shine.
So speaking of bestowing curses, our first one is in fact the bestow curse spell.
Yeah, this was kind of interesting because bestow curse, it lasts for a very short amount of time. It's more of a combat spell. So I really wouldn't consider this like a true curse in the way that now I'm looking up the rule. I'm seeing how long it lasts, but I'm pretty sure this is a real quick one.
Mm-hmm. It's usually combat based. It is interesting. The presentation here is to combine it with the glyph of warding to prep it and basically have it pop off exactly when you're kind of wanting it to, or as like a thing that kicks off combat, or, combining both.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I just looked up like the 2024 rework of it. And so typically when you cast it at 3rd level, it lasts for only a minute with concentration. But if you upcast it at higher levels, now you can make it last a really long time. Or even if you use a 9th level spell slot, make it permanent until dispelled, which is like, so all of a sudden, I see you 2024 coming in here, making this a whole thing. Then in that case, absolutely. This is a great instance to use this with. Though the thing is, of course, most of the time it's going to be your players casting the spell on your enemies. So every once in a while, totally put Bestow Curse on they're fighting a hag, they're fighting a warlock, they're getting weird. It's a good opportunity, especially if somebody in your party has Remove Curse. Make them feel great for always preparing that spell. Make them feel good about it. Hey, you did it.
Yeah, these are one of the ones where I don't feel like this is as much of a hot button issue as it used to be. And if it is, I still feel the same as I did then as I do now. But I don't have any issues changing certain aspects. And someone put it really well. I think it was Michael from the RPG Academy that basically said, fudging a roll specifically to have a more engaging narrative. Mm-hmm. Yes. If there's almost any other reason you're changing your role, no. If you're changing a role specifically to create a better narrative for you and your players, also important that it's both, let's do it. Because if the person is using Bestow Curse, and I mean, heck, Baldur's Gate 3 has an option that says, hey, don't make me sad, which said basically it's if I get too many low numbers in a row, please don't do it again. I do the same thing for people.
Karmic dice, table. I believe, is that option for those of you listening who feel this way.
And so
turn it on.
And I do the same thing where I'm just like, hold on.
Yeah, like, objectively.
It worked.
Yeah. This is why when GMs are like, I refuse to use a screen to roll, I'm like, really? That seems mean. I think it's kinder to sort of hide the rules and, help fix things for more fun behind the screen.
I also think that it takes away the opportunity to choose to do it at very pivotal moments.
Yes.
Because I'll go to the other side of the screen to roll again, for the narrative moment, it enhances it because it's so important where my dice fall that I'm willing to roll it on the outside of my screen.
Yeah, I have a GM right now who refuses to roll behind a screen, and I'm like, brother,
brother,
no.
Okay, number 2 is possibly going to be my favorite. We'll see if anything takes away that top spot.
Yeah.
Cursed Treasure.
Yes.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Hidden Shrine of
Tomoa-chan.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way I do it is rude. Let's start there. I wait until they've used the gold.
Then
no. They have to backtrack.
Go get a bag. Go track down your pieces of silver.
Yeah, that's what's alluded to here is that you can make it a much larger campaign or campaign arc style problem because they've gone to all these different places and spent their gold. But they spent that gold, which means they cursed all of those people.
Yeah. Yeah. We have in Tales of the Valiant, we definitely put in a few curses like this, to like the thieves curse or whatever. Like think of Egyptian, pyramids, like ye who disturbed this tomb, blah, blah. I think the key thing is for me here is making sure that there is a clear and obvious warning that something bad is going to happen if you take it before they take it. And then they do take it. And then it becomes very satisfying. The way I feel like Cursed Treasure, I've seen it fail a bunch of times and just frustrate players, is if there's no warning that there's going to be a consequence, right? If you take this, there's no weird message, written above the door. There's no skeletal guardian that tells you, don't take this or whatever. And you're like, shut up. And you kick his face in. You have to have something like that to, it's almost like wish fulfillment, right? Like that's part of the fun of it. We want to be engaged and plugged into the story. But if you spring a surprise, like, oh my God, all of a sudden your hair's falling out after, spending money at this marketplace. Whoa, weird. And people are like, why? I'm a dungeoneer person. Like, we're here to get treasure. I'm being punished. Blah,
Well, it goes directly back to your original point with the first one of, because some of the weapons definitely do the way you were talking now, or it's just you're permanently
the minute you swing it, you're permanently screwed. Boop. And that feels really bad. I've been at that table where a GM was like, oh no, you touched it now, and I'm like, but I needed to touch it to identify it. Like I didn't even try to swing it, right? Like having that kind of space in the rules where it's nebulous is really when things get you into trouble. So you really have to make Cursed Treasure is so fun, but you really have to go out of your way to make the setup clear to, get that payoff later.
Number 3.
Ooh. Lycanthropy. Yes, the most famous curse in the game, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Neil, as a random thought, I always thought that lycanthropy should be a disease. It functions so much more like a disease than a curse, because it progresses over 30 days.
It's communicable. It's literally transferred.
Yeah. It's like rabies, but makes you a cool wolf person.
Okay, so we went from what might be my favorite to my least favorite specifically for the article, not anything else. Because huge fan of huge fan of all were creatures. And but the problem with that is the variance therein. Like even from earlier editions, werewolves bad, werebears great. And so what you decide to do with it, who you implement it on, and also have fun with that. It's also why I don't want to do it, because part of it is you can have a set of characters go from 1 to 20 in the span of a week, in turn never addressing the fact that someone became a were creature.
Yeah, right.
Because they never saw a full moon, or always dealing with it because they never got past a week's worth of time.
Right. Yeah.
And it can be all encompassing, where everyone has to go all in to try and get it solved so that they don't permanently become a were creature.
Yeah, and this can lead very quickly to one of the big downfalls of 3rd edition, or one of the reasons players are like, oh, I miss 3rd edition, and one of the reasons GMs are like, good riddance, is because of the templates that you could apply to player characters. So when somebody became a werewolf, oh, here's all the rules, and here's all of these cool abilities you get to add on to the already stacked player characters. Oh, now you're a half dragon? Here's your template, for... It just gets so wild so quickly. And I feel like this is such a trap for a lot of new DMs who are like, oh no, I'll let you be, a werewolf. That sounds fun. You get bitten. Cool. And then, I'll maybe homebrew you some stuff. Oh, wow. The stat block, you're immune to 7 things. And oh, wow. It just spirals so quickly because there are no firm restraints.
I remember it like it was yesterday, because one of the difficult things is and you're going to speak to it directly as much as I've done all my own design. Class balance is extremely difficult.
So difficult.
Notice how you don't see a bunch of base classes coming out. One, you got everything covered. Everything is covered. I cannot say it enough. Everything is covered. Yeah. It is the benefit of then subclasses. That's where nuance and that's where fun can be had. Classes are covered, subclasses, let's do whatever we want. But the balance of that is wild. In as much as we've always talked about the difficulty of finding the CR of a creature, now you're going to tell me that you can properly assess the level adjustment that I need to do for my character because I'm a troll? No.
Yeah, no, impossible. Oh, do you remember level adjustments? Oh
3,
my God.
by the way, for trolls.
Wow.
I'm dead set it's 3 because I remember I used to have somebody who was always wanted to be a troll. And I was like, no, you're trolling. Yes, you are a troll. You, the player. Stop it. I don't want you to be a troll.
I had a player who wanted to be a vampire, and it was like a -7 like level. I'm like, there's no way. Like, this won't be fun for anyone waiting for you to like, not level up or whatever it is.
Hold on, everyone. It's nighttime.
Yeah.
Now we can go.
Now we can go. Like, nobody's gonna have fun with this.
Okay, this one's interesting.
Ooh,
Number
okay.
4, Mummy, Rotting Fist.
This is okay. I have to look at the new 2024 because I know, I know that in TOV, being around mummy lords, there's a chance to mummy rot is the thing that like can curse you and happen. I wonder, is it now specifically tied to Rotting Fist? Is that why?
That's what I'm double checking as well.
Mummy lord. Whenever we record these, I always have D&D Beyond.
So do I. Every time.
Go.
I'm like,
every time. Okay. So I'm checking the base. Yes. Okay. Interesting. So in 2024, they have gotten rid of the term mummy rot altogether. That's not a thing that happens or is talked about in the stat block. In the previous 5e version, specifically Rotting Fist, you could punch someone and then they had to make saves or contract mummy rot, which was a whole thing, separate thing described in, I think, the Dungeon Master's Guide. Now it just says if you're hit with mummy rot, you get cursed. And it details everything that was described as mummy rot. But now it's just says cursed. It doesn't say it's a specific curse. Interesting.
This thing's horrifying. I mean, granted,
it's horrible.
It's a CR-15 creature, but
yeah, it's basically it's meant to be, you know, that scene in The Mummy when you get that guy gets dehydrated and then turns to dust. Yeah, so that's mummy rot, and that happens real quick. It's very scary.
Even if you don't turn to dust, you just take longer to get there because you lose. Your hit point maximum decreases by 10 every 24 hours. You don't deal with it.
Okay, also, this is scary. I don't know how... I'm not seeing a way in the stat block to cure this.
There's also...
Oh, I see. Okay, wait. The way to cure this, the curse can be healed only by the remove curse spell or similar. It's buried in the monster text description. So I worry that some GMs won't see that, and oh no, people are going to be turned into dust all over the world.
So I was going to say something that then 100% isn't true, and I'm gonna guess it's because you're dealing with characters that are fighting something that is CR-15.
Yeah,
you don't save. If it hits, you have it.
You have it. Yeah, there's no save here. It just happens to. You are cursed.
That's bad. So
you are all potentially cursed. If you're fighting a mummy lord, cursed target can't regain hit points. I guess the only thing is the multi-attack specifies the mummy lord can only make one Rotting Fist per turn in addition to a bunch of other attacks. So the assumption being that most combats never last more than 3 rounds because D&D characters are wicked powerful. So I guess 3 people this is going to happen to, but like, oh no.
Still.
That's a lot.
And depending on where you are.
Though I guess, remove curse is only a 3rd level spell. So if your CR, your party is fighting CR-15 stuff, you probably have some scrolls. I don't know.
This is such a random aside, but because we're both specifically looking at the stat block, we don't always do that here on this show.
No,
but because we're here, please go up to the very top and look with me at the description of medium or small undead cleric, which is just kind of funny.
What? Wait a minute.
At the very top, when it describes the type of creature it is,
those doesn't do anything hard to. I don't know.
Very just under Mummy Lord, where it usually is like medium aberration.
Medium or small undead cleric. Wow. Okay, that's so weird. That's in the stat block. I was like, what do you mean? Yeah. See, you could be your gnome.
Gnome, halfling.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's really interesting that they specify it has to be a cleric now. That's wild. 2024, you're full of strange surprises. Because also cleric isn't a monster anywhere. There's no NPC cleric stat block.
This is why I pointed it out.
What is happening?
I do not know.
Interesting. Okay. Mummy lords are scary, y'all. I don't like that.
Speaking of scary, and another monster, we have the Demi-Lich and the Vile Curse.
All right, well now I gotta look. Now what did they do to it? 2024, what did they do to it? Because Demi-Lich was pretty chumpy in base 5e. Ooh, I like that art upgrade. It's very scary now. It's like got gemstone teeth and gemstone eyes. So it's wild. I don't think it's in the new one. Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
It's not.
No, I guess it was too scary. So at the time of this article, they had not yet cured the world of the Demi-Lich's Vile Curse legendary action.
I would actually heavily counter of it being scary. So, fun fact, as we have searched D&D Beyond, the Vile Curse is not in the 2024 rule set. It is a legendary action that costs 3 actions and is not really impressing me. For a CR 18 creature, you have a DC 15 wisdom save, or all your attack rolls and saving throws are at disadvantage. You're going to make me spend all of my legendary actions?
Yeah, for a DC 15 wisdom saving throw on a CR 18, which means your party is probably base level, even without anything, got a plus maybe 12, 13, even like your fighters are going to have, upwards of plus 10 to wisdom saves at this level.
And the counter for that is, if it's going to be easy to save, if you fail, it should be devastating.
Yeah.
And that's a thing that...
Disadvantage on attacks and saves, yeah. And it can repeat at the end of each of its turn to end the curse.
Yeah.
So it's... Nah, okay, I get why they removed this for 2024. I remember, I was like, the Demi-Lich was kind of a chump in 5e, and this is what I was remembering.
All right. Well, it's almost like let's just act like that never even happened. Speaking of another creature.
Moving along swiftly.
The Fomorian, the Curse of the Evil Eye.
Ooh. Interesting that they put Evil Eye on this. I feel like Evil Eye is such a cultural phenomenon, and Fomorians, well, I understand, I think they were a bigger deal in past editions. Like, me, Millennial Celeste, has no idea what a Fomorian is and doesn't think of them as like a core part of my D&D experience. So it's always really interesting when they put like a big cultural deal, on kind of throwaway monsters.
Well, we butted up against the same thing.
Oh, it's gone now. Wow, this stat block got really short in 2024.
Yeah, so once again, this is only in the 2014 rule set, and I absolutely wouldn't do this to my players. I'm not going to do this.
Okay.
So, with a stare, the Fomorian uses Evil Eye, but on a failed save, the creature is also cursed with magical deformities, reducing their speed by half and giving disadvantage on all ability checks, saving throws, and attacks based on strength or dexterity. This is a CR8 creature with something that is exponentially worse than what we just talked about with the Demi-Lich.
Also, I feel like the Evil Eye has some cultural implications that might make this a little bit,
and this also
a little bit racist, to be quite honest.
This also only lets you do it after a long rest. What is the point?
This is weird.
Solution. No, not at all. And just take the Demi-Lich curse and make it this without the deformities. Done.
Oh, wow. They totally got like a rework in 2024. Like the art looks nothing like. Interesting. Yeah. No. Sorry, article writer. We've plugged 2 holes, Matthew, in your curses. Let's see.
That's all right.
Oh no, the next one is going to be a specific monster too. Does the Rakshasa still have number 7 Rakshasa claw? Does it still do a curse?
Oh, I'm excited.
We need to know. Yeah. This is the us looking up things for you so you don't have to episode.
Ooh. I love the new art on D&D Beyond.
Oh, yeah. The Cursed Touch. There we go. So it's not called Claw anymore, but Cursed Touch is definitely what replaced Claw. Yeah. Yeah, the new art is so cool. All the animal-headed.
Ooh.
I
like this
individuals.
one.
Mm-hmm.
And I would okay. We're finally back to something I feel like I can work with here.
Yeah.
So, yes. So Cursed Touch.
Work with, yeah.
While cursed, the target gains no benefit from finishing a short or long rest.
See, that's good. That's mean.
And I feel like that gives, this is what, it's been a little bit in this list since I felt like I had something narrative that I can really pull on, but not being able to have an actual rest, there's so much that you can do with that, because depending on your player, depending on their character, depending on a lot of factors that you've been given through play, there's a lot you can do as to explaining and like pulling on those threads to say why you're not able to rest and have good, fun narrative moments explaining those exact things.
The thing I'm looking at here is I don't see any way to end this curse. Do you see any information? It doesn't even say like remove curse works. So how?
Bad news, everybody. You got it forever.
Bad news, end of game. You must be a commoner from now on and just take normal nighttime snoozes. No more resting. How does it end? Am I missing it?
No, you're not.
No. What? So it lasts forever.
I know, but we have nothing to indicate otherwise.
But rules as written, Neil, this lasts forever.
Okay. I know exactly which monster I'm going to use for my level adjustment.
Okay, well, also the thing is, it makes 3 cursed touch attacks on its turn. So, and also there's no save on this. So, if you attack 3 people, as long as you hit 3 PCs, forever will never be able to take a short or long rest. Rules as written.
The only leverage you have in this argument is it's a curse.
So
curse, let me do things.
Yeah, let me do this, right? But also, usually curses go out of their way to say if they can be fixed.
Or what the condition is
curse.
Of I can do it every round, I can do it every short or long rest, I can do it with only a bestow curse. It's so bad I can only do it with a wish. It's
so
usually they are conditioned to be removed.
Yes. It's almost like a requirement from a design perspective. So I don't know. Interesting. Now, after this, I'm going to go flip open the 2024 Monster Manual and be like, does it have some kind of conditional statement somewhere? Because otherwise, Rakshasas are very, very mean in 2024.
Yeah. That's wild. Oh, well. Rakshasas coming into my next game, that's for sure.
All right.
What do we got for number 8?
For number 8, the Ancient Seal. Ooh. Okay, so I was like, what is this? And then the description says, one of the example curses in Van Richten's Guide to Ravenloft is that this curse protects against would-be grave robbers plundering a tomb. Okay, so then I think the body, if a body is disturbed or treasure stolen, it summons a wraith. Okay. So then basically an undead will appear and haunt whoever, stole the treasure. Okay. I do remember in Van Richten's Guide, they kind of made an attempt to formalize curses. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, wow, this is so cool. I wish they did more. And then, there were only 2 example curses. So this must have been one of them.
Yeah, there's not too many.
And now I'm looking at it. Yeah. Which is so disappointing because I think curses are very cool. That's why I spend so much time, codifying them for TOV. But, I mean, yeah, man, this is I love, the whole like kind of Revenant story, or, whatever, choose your undead, right? It's like you do something bad and the players will be, hunted / haunted by something until they make it right. And again, this has the same cursed treasure situation we were talking about earlier. You got to telegraph this, and you have to let them know there'll be consequences. But what I like about this strategy, especially if it's like a wraith that keeps like showing up wherever the party is, even if they're high level, even if fighting a wraith is not a big deal, right? A wraith is a CR5 or something. So that's still enough of a problem where if you don't know when this thing is going to show up, it will get smart. You'll keep killing it, and it'll keep coming back. It'll wait for a moment when you all are sleeping. It'll wait for a moment, when you're stunned fighting a different big boss. It'll wait for that like perfect time, right, to get its revenge. And that is just super duper fun.
So you're right in every aspect when you talked about the Van Richten's Guide.
Well, thank you.
Things.
Yeah.
What I will say though about this is what I would frame as a really good structure if you're making a curse. It kind of just brings together everything we've kind of been talking about. One,
cool
pronouncement. Literally, it says, carved into the stone of the crypt door are the words, relentless death follows those who disturb the sovereign's rest.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I told you what was going to happen, and you did it anyway.
You were aware. You read it. I read it out loud.
You received our second step, the burden. What is the burden of this curse? You are haunted by a wraith. You can kill it, and I would definitely switch this up. It says it doesn't reform for 10 days. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
You best believe I'm rolling a 1d10. Also, each character...
Every day at midnight to see if it reforms.
Each character that gains this curse is haunted by a wraith.
Oh, so you could have, if you have a party of 5, you could have 5 wraiths show up. Then we're talking about some trouble in terms of CR. Heck yeah.
And, as we have stated, and has become very important when discussing the Rakshasa, the resolution of this curse. Step 3. Please do step 3, everyone.
Please.
It's set right by putting back what you disturbed. Surprise.
Yep. Yeah. I see. This is why I remember Van Richten's. I'm like struggling to find it on D&D Beyond now, but I remember less like, wow, I wish there were more curses because they specifically baked in those 4. Like buy-in, right? The warning elements and the resolution, and so that's why I actually use those when designing curses.
Yeah,
like as a model, I was like, this is great. Why don't we do this? We need to pronounce these curses, to the world or whatever.
Yeah, they only have 4: Ancient Seal, Broken Vow, Final Breath, and Innocent Blood.
Ooh, and we're about to read about all of those in the article.
Speaking of Broken Vow.
Hey, number 9.
I will literally not scroll down. It's on my screen already.
Yep.
The pronouncement. Whatever vow the character made, it came with an implied warning that guilt and restlessness would beset anyone who broke the oath.
Yes. This is nice because specifically they talk about in the article, this is like for a paladin oath. It is really, really nice to see some mechanics to like breaking a paladin oath, because paladins are very strong. They are intentionally designed very strong, with the exception that you have to follow rules when you roleplay. Most people just ignore those completely. And then paladins are busted as heck. I'm like, you're not doing the job. You're not roleplaying them. You're not scared of the consequences. So it's really, really nice to see something mechanically codified for that.
And it's been a little bit since I've looked at the new version of exhaustion, because that's what you get with your burden, is if you did break it, you have 3 levels of exhaustion. And the way it works now is way more interesting to me.
Yeah.
I hated using it before. It felt way too punitive. And I didn't. For being just frank, I just never did. But with this, the new version is you're going to reduce what you roll. You're going to reduce your speed. You're basically reducing all of their numbers by 3 times whatever they want.
That feels good to have like a cumulative too, like something to represent the weight of like, you broke this thing, right? And it kind of, it lines up with like being sad in real life. If you fail at something, if you break a promise, like the way we feel guilt is incremental and it gets, worse with time. So it's a cool curse idea to see like codified here for sure.
Number 10,
Final Breath. So this is another, I'm pretty sure the last two are both those curses from Van Richten's. Man, I wish they made more, because obviously they're so cool. I just finally pulled my copy of Van Richten's down and looked at them. I'm like, why didn't they do more? Why didn't they do this in the 2024 GMG?
That's a really good point. It's interesting to not have it folded in to that book.
To the new book about expanded options? Why not? I put my curses in our new game message. Come on, Wizards. What are we doing?
Even if it's just this much, that is really interesting.
Just a little section. Yeah, even just this. Yeah. Like, just pick it up and put it in there. Because a lot of people aren't looking at Van Richten's. If you're attracting new players to the game with the new 2024 rule set, why not?
So I'm in the section for horror adventures, and I would say the vast majority of this needs to stay in a separate book. This is not
this is not that. This is general use. Like, this should be by like where you talk about traps, like how traps work.
Yes,
like this should be there. Man, it's so good.
Final Breath. When you slay an avatar or servant of a powerful deity, they can use their last breath to curse the character that slew them.
I love this. I love this because it appeals to so many like pop culture things. Like the one that comes to mind is, like the Dresden Files, the wizard's curse. Like, yeah, you can defeat me, but like you will bear whatever my final words are. And this is so great, especially because at higher levels, there are so few ways to like challenge new players. But if you lay something like this on the front door, that's when things get good, like, yeah, you can take out Lex Luthor, but also half the world is going to get blown up if you do it. There's a kill switch, and like that moral decision is so good.
The pronouncement. The dying creature declares to their killer, may
so
your
good.
mind grow dim in battle until the sun sets forever.
Whoa!
And now you're stuck with disadvantage because you basically go into sporadic bouts of confusion.
Whoa. I mean, that's not a great mechanical after effect for the setup, but
it's still fun.
I love the idea of this. And then you could change it to not be disadvantage on all attacks. You could have it be something else, something cooler for your narrative purposes or otherwise.
To lift the curse, the character must make a symbolic setting of the sun or an empowering of the night to appease the slain creature's deity.
Ooh, what does that mean?
The character might prevent a festival dedicated to a sun god or perform a ritual that shrouds an entire settlement in magical night for 24 hours, thus ending the curse.
I mean, that's kind of a cool challenge to put in front of character, because I assume this is the kind of curse you wouldn't employ unless you have like tier 4 PCs, right? So you're fighting things like, oh man, you killed that CR21 planetar angel, of a sun god. And then this is the kind of curse that results from that. So you have big heap and magic, at your disposal. So it's kind of a creative challenge, I guess, in that way. But that's so interesting. It has to be a sun or moon god. You know what? I bet the writer who wrote this had a specific story or book or game in mind, and they're like, clearly we're mimicking this, and I'm like, I don't know what it is though, but it's very cool.
Yeah, and again, these are all set up in such a good way of like, it's as if they're set up as what they're titled, sample curses for you to build off of. Ooh, surprise.
There you go. I love it. I love the honesty. Here it is.
Which leads us to our final one in this list, also from Van Richten's guide, Innocent Blood.
Innocent Blood, man. Just the art on this. It's like the dying soldier man with his hand outstretched and splatter blood. I'm like, very effective blog art.
So this is
Friend.
from 3rd edition. It is the main fighter character, which means that is going to be the main rogue character above him. So it's Lydia and Regdar. I think that's going to be either the main paladin or cleric who appears to be healing.
That's a dragonborn foot, if I'm not mistaken.
So yeah, it's basically a spliced piece of art off of something. My money bet's a module. But dear listener, if you go to this article and you figure it out, let me know.
Yeah, let me know. Let us know. Email us at DM-Nastics.
Yeah, come on down.
We'll tell you later. Pay attention.
Basically, when a character killed an undeserving person, they lay a vengeful curse on them as punishment.
This is good because, my God, how many times have new players just murdered an NPC and
this thing is
and didn't think about the consequences? Whoa, what is it?
It makes you into where am I? Matthew Mercer, where's my pronunciation guide? You used to pronounce things.
Oh, Lugaroo?
Yeah.
Is that what you're?
Yeah.
Yeah, a Lugaroo. Okay, so the character is cursed with Lugaroo lycanthropy. So it's not just you're a werewolf. You become a hideous monster. So Lugaroo is actually a term from Native American culture. It wasn't specifically a kind of werewolf. It's kind of been appropriated to mean that now, though. Like the elder, sort of the alpha, the first werewolf, if you will, above all others. So there is, everyone, let's counsel this around. There is some debate whether or not Lugaroo is actually a term any of us should be using in a monstrous context. But beyond that, in Van Richten's guide specifically, Lugaroo is, it's sort of like that first primordial curse, like, the first vampire lords, right? When we were talking about this, there was a betrayal that was so profoundly dark that, the magic made them into monsters. And then they started breeding monsters from that. So that's pretty wild that that's just in here as you don't even need to get bit. Like, you were just a bad dude who killed an innocent person.
And you're out here making other werewolves all the time. Also, when one is slain, a remove curse spell cast the night of a full moon on any afflicted werewolf that was created by it forces them to make a DC 17 Constitution saving throw. If they succeed, the curse is broken. So you can just stop all the sired werewolves as well.
So I've been looking at this book a lot for an upcoming project. Actually, I've been thinking about Gothic horror just constantly. And introducing things like the Lugaroo, or, these specific vampires that have that old world, man, they're almost unstoppable unless you do the research and figure out the specific way their magic can be overcome. I love that. I love seeing this kind of, but if you learn, on this night here and play as if you're wise and you pay attention, you can defeat the thing by doing this sneaky trick. It's so great. And I love that this curse points you to that, right? Because even if you weren't looking at the Lugaroo beforehand, maybe you're looking at this curse as you're trying to look for inspiration, for your next adventure arc or whatever it is. And that'll point you to this and be like, because already we can all see, we GMs, a story here, right? Like a really great arc based on this curse and, that stat block. And how neat would that be?
And surprise, there's a resolution, so you know how to do this. This is definitely the more extreme of the four, because the curse can't be broken until the character is reduced to 0 hit points by a silvered weapon, and if the character survives, the curse can be broken as described in the Lugaroo's lycanthropy section.
Wow. So the character doesn't have a progenitor, so you can't remove curse the character. No. They count as the progenitor, so right? With this.
First, so then do it.
That's really cool.
Whoa.
Man, I only do this to a character who knows they deserved it. Only do this to a player who knows their character deserved it, I should say. Because this is a very wild story arc, but wow, yeah. You need to be ready with buy-in for a redemption track, or the only way I can redeem myself is complete and total sacrifice, Woof, says the Lugaroo.
That's wild.
Yeah. It's so wild too, because like this feels like such a big potent thing, right? And Lugaroos, I think in Van Richten's are like higher CRs than standard werewolves, which are already like 5 or 6, so pretty solid on their own. But the trigger for this can happen at any level, right? Like it's probably first level, second level PCs that are most likely to murder innocent people in that murder hobo phase, like coming into their power. Whereas something like, you know, the one we were talking about before, you know, the Broken Vow, there's some buy-in, or like Final Breath, it's like killing something really powerful, right? But this is just open, from what I can tell, to any kind of level or experience, which makes this really dangerous. And
just turn you into a CR13 creature real quick.
Yeah. Oh, hey, level 2 rogue that, you know, accidentally murdered the town's, like, you know, tavern keeper because they thought it'd be funny to steal from them and they tried to defend themselves. Rude. Rude.
But what wouldn't be rude is if you went to Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice and left us a rating and review, because I've heard that's great. It makes me feel better about everything.
Yay!
And of course, if you want to email us about the curses you've been using, you can always do so at dmnastics@gmail.com. And of course, if you head over to social media, you'll typically find us at DMS_block. That's at DMS. That's at DMs block. And of course, I am at Jote Maniac.
Yeah, and to find me, look for me at C. Conowitch. And for everything else on the network, check out blockpartypodcastnetwork.com. And of course, a huge thank you to the bards over on Bombarded for our intro and outro music. You can find out more about Bombarded at bombardedcast.com.
And rather than let these mental gains go to waste, let's head to taking your supplements.
Taking your supplements! Neuro Chateau. I'm just looking at the link. I'm already so intrigued. Tell me more.
So, at a catacon, when I was staying in a renovated church, one of the people that was there tipped me off to a very interesting thing. And it is called Enter Neuro Chateau, because it is a depth crawl into the primordial mind of a ruby dragon.
Whoa, so cool.
So you're literally going, it's like an old school TTRPG depth crawl in which you explore the metaphysical manifestation of the primordial ruby dragon's mind.
Whoa. Okay, wait. 1 sec. Is depth crawl a new term that I don't know about because I'm old?
I don't know what it is either.
Oh my god. Is it like a new word for dungeon crawl except without the dungeon implication? I hope so, because I like it.
Point crawl, addendum, depth crawls. A depth crawl is a method for procedurally generating exploration-oriented point crawls.
Right, but it's not specifically a dungeon, I think. Is the thing.
Skeleton Code Machine. Depth crawls are a way to procedurally generate a point crawl adventure. So yeah, it's like I think it's like an OSR thing, but it is a term that is definitely being used, and I think it's nonlinear. That's why it's called a depth crawl.
Okay, that's why
you're not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's just whatever you're running into next, especially with something functioning like this. You're in the metaphysical manifestation of a mind.
Yeah.
Then like, there's not a 1, 2, 3. There doesn't have to be.
It's going to be traveling.
That's why it's point to point.
Cool.
That's interesting. So you have
oh my gosh.
25 adventure locations, 24 new and strange creatures, and the Great Migraine. A series of cognitive repercussions the players face as they force their will into the chateau.
I'm going to hold up timeout because as somebody who suffers from really bad headaches and the occasional migraine, this is a perfect way to describe troubling things that would happen to players. I love this.
So yeah, we'll have a link over to their itch.io. It's Yakimo, and it's only $6 for literally 25 locations. And this is one of those things that I think is really great because the level of inspiration you can get from this is extremely high.
Right. They also have things like memory manipulation tables to like challenge players' sense of self and characters. And I feel like that is something memory stuff. And that's a big narrative element no matter what game you're playing. I like just needed something like this for a D&D game I was running. So check it out.
The Great Migraine Effects. Roll a 1d2. You know what? Let's do it. I have a surprise, everybody. I got myself a copy. So roll me 1d12. Let's see what we get.
1d12. I rolled a 1.
Cannot move more than half speed for 10 minutes.
Ooh.
And this is the other thing this is another thing that's really interesting because it's 1d12 plus depth each time it is triggered.
Oh, so as you get like deeper into the thing, it's harder to keep control of yourself. That's cool. I like that a lot.
Okay.
I rolled an 8 though. What was the 8?
Make an attack against the closest random creature.
Ew, I love it. I love it. This is great, regardless of system.
Not having fully read this, I would like to read for you number 22. And I will give no further context. And I think this is the hook we're going to leave it on. Number 22, replace one random memory from your memory list with one from the Whose Thoughts Are These table.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I love this.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I have to leave now and end this episode to go read those PDFs. Yeah. So thank you all.
We're just going to be doing this. Sorry.
So thank you all.
welcome to our new podcast.
Our new podcast.
Into the Neuro Chateau. Sorry. On the next episode of Into the Neuro Chateau. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, like I said, we'll have a link down to the itch.io page. And you can go over there, $6, and it's going to get you 30 plus pages.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Way more than 30 pages because I thought it was 24 and I was like, but wait, these are double-sided, aren't they? Yeah. Like over 40 pages worth of content. So
yes. Proper zine.
Yep. But with that, we'll turn out the lights and head out of the gym. But as always, before we go, I want to implore you, the listener, to join the forums, the Discord, and social media, and anywhere else you can find us, like a Catacon or whatever con we end up at. Come find us. And of course, that way you can take part in these challenges, exercises, and other amazing conversations being had.
To do that, head over to bit.ly/DM banter and try some DM-Nastics so your players don't ask, do you even lift?